Good day, friends, and what a beautiful morning it is. Nice and sunny outside, but I'm stuck in here doing what I really enjoy to do. If you're going to be stuck in doing something you absolutely love. And I love tinkering with guitars. And we have a nice one in today. And it's a Strat with some upgrades. And the 2-point floating tremolo, so this will make this a, it's not quite a deluxe model. It is a Mexican model, blah 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 blah. I don't know what model it is, but it may be a deluxe. It's got the vintage style tuners on there. It's got the 2-point fulcrum tremolo, steel pressed saddles, which we all like. So even though I'm not sure of the model, it is quite a good model. Pickups, upgraded Seymour Duncans in there. I have no idea what set they are. That does not matter. So what's this guitar want? Wait, as you can see, it's really quite dirty. It's going to need a good clean, a setup. The nut cut looks cut pretty well. It's not even too, it's fine. There's some grime and muck and filth all over the fingerboard, which I'll clean off. I would say this needs a good setup. It also may need a little bit of fretwork. The frets are, there's quite a lot of wear down this end. They are flattening out quite a bit. I'm not going to recrown these frets. I'm just going to give it an intensive setup, which is what I said I'll do. Money's not the issue, it's just they're flat, the frets at that end, but they're not flat enough to do a recrown just yet. Let me just grab my fret rocker and I'm just going to whisk across these frets. Then I'm going to go online and I'm going to find out what guitar this is. I expected this to have a 6-point tremolo, a 6-screw job, 6-screw affair. But frets wise, one high, one there. I'm just going straight down the centre. There's 2. Just 2 high frets. I'll know more when I've got the strings off. There are 2 high frets, so it doesn't need a complete fret level. It does need a little bit of fretwork on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the setup. The bridge is all wrong completely. The tremolo is not even flat. Let me just check. We're going to check the fingerboard or the neck, see if it's straight or not. We're going to check the strings under the 1st fret, and I'm going to check the action at the 12th fret just to see exactly where we are. It's just a quick scoop. That is already too low. Wow, that is about 1mm at the 12th fret. It's far too low. You're not going to get that playing well. And wow, the high E, string 1. Again, 1mm. So the action is far too low. I wouldn't be surprised if it's buzzed all up and down the neck. Let me just check how straight the neck is. Right, the neck is, oh, it's not that straight. So, let's just have a little... We ain't buzzing everywhere. So it's not too bad, it is buzzing a bit. I would definitely want that action a little bit higher, especially on the low E and the A string. I can tell where the action is wrong on the tremolo because it's much higher on the treble side or on the high string side. Let me just get a screwdriver, I can find one. I'm just going to bring this action up on the tremolo. I don't think the guy uses a tremolo, but I'm going to set it floating. Very good, very good. I will be back in a second. Sorry about that, that was a postwoman just sticking the post through the door. So where was I with this? Yes, the action. So definitely low on the treble side. We will remedy that. That's a little bit better. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to check the intonation on the guitar. Make sure we're set pretty much where we need to be. Another thing about this guitar, it has got the locking tuners, the vintage locking type. I'm not sure how they work. I think it's the more you turn this, it pushes a pin up as you turn it. We'll see more of that in a moment. I'm going to take a guitar lead. Just going to check the tuning and the intonation. If the intonation is okay, we'll cut the strings off, chuck them in the bin, and we can get on with, we'll get the neck straight and we'll go across again. Oh, the input jack's loose. sort that out as well. We can go across with a, make sure we're neck straight with a not straight edge. We'll go across with a fret rocker again. That's still buzzing, I can hear it. But though I know the nuts are alright. Can you hear the buzzing? Action's far too low. People come in and try and set the action really low, like 1mm. You're having a laugh at 1mm. You're not going to get away with 1mm. I know there's people out there saying, no, bullshit, you will get away with 1mm string action because I've got it. They must be playing the strings like that. You twang a chord, mate, 1mm action on your 12th fret, I guarantee you're going to get fret buzz because I know how much a string vibrates. So, I know how to set a guitar up, I'll tell you that. Pretty good at it. So here we go, 12th fret, let's have a look. Very flat. I'm going to move the camera, you may as well take this journey with me, haven't you? Let's go again. So, setting the intonation, that is the length of the string up to the saddle. If we get sharp or flat on here, we have to alter the length of the strings. Like for instance, that is an E. The note is very flat. Means we need to shorten the length of the string. So I'm going to just loosen off with the right screwdriver. I'm going to loosen off this saddle. And the way I remember whether to go sharp or flat or left or right is, well, basically that. If the fretted note on the 12th string is flat, which is 4 letters, we move the saddle where I sit towards the neck, which to me is left. So flat is left. Sharp, if it's sharp, we move it away from the neck or towards the bridge. That sharp is 5 letters, right is 5 letters. So that's the way I remember. If a note is flat on the 12th fret, we move the saddle to the left. If it's sharp, we move the saddle to the right, lengthening the string length. Until basically the fretted note on the 12th string is in tune. So where we have open string is an E. I know the harmonic is going to be an E. Still a little bit flat. Still a little bit flat, so we need again to go back. And that, probably as much as adjustment as we can make, I think we'll be just about there. Something I like to do with old strings on, people say you shouldn't do it with old strings on, do it with new strings. I'll do it with new strings as well. There you go. That's it, perfect. So the A string. A little bit flat, that's saying. Again, a little bit flat. So we take the saddle toward the neck again. These saddles will need sorting out in a moment. They're all over the place. We need to set the radius on the bridge, but we'll do that. So we've got the intonation set. Something I noticed with the inserts on the tuners on this guitar, they're popping up a little bit from a headstock. This one's about 1mm, so we're going to knock those in. That's perfect. D's good. G's good. B's good. That's it, E, that's fine, there. But the fretted note at the 12th is flat. Where's Mark's good? We're good, so we've got the intonation now set. We need to, well, the state of the the radius on the saddles is abysmal. They're all over the place, they're like some knackered teeth. We're going to sort those out in a moment, but what I'm going to do now is, now I've got that all set, I'm going to slacken the strings off and we're going to check for frets, so I'll be back soon. I'm going to alter these saddles first, get them close to where they need to be, and then, like I say, we'll get rid of the strings, we'll go across with a fret rocker and we'll check with frets again. So, fret-wise, very good news. We have one particularly high fret, but we do have, which is absolutely not a problem, but we do have some flat spots around these areas. And we're not causing any great mischief, it's just that we do have flat spots. So what I'm going to do is about 6 or 7 frets around here, I'm going to re-crown. So it's not major work, but because of the re-crowning and the one high fret anyway, we're going to go with an intensive setup on this guitar. Also, I noticed that the pickups are all leaning toward each other the wrong way, and I'll try and show that on camera now where we are, but I don't want to move the camera. But if you look, let's get that out of the way. Can you see? They're all leaning the wrong way, they're not moving. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have the scratch plate off and I'm going to reset these pickups and try and get them all level. That way I can also check the electrics inside anyway. So we're going to do that. So it's going to be a little bit more work than a regular setup. There's quite a bit of umscale and muck and grime and horribleness all around some of these frets, which I'm going to have to clean off. I'm going to give it a little bit of white spirit, but I'm going to finish off with some naphtha, or maybe, in fact I'll probably just use some naphtha. We'll give that a real good clean. The inserts on the tuners I've pushed back in, it's just a matter of pushing them down like so. They are all seated pretty well. These are the kind of tuners where you undo them with a screwdriver in there and it lets go of the string. Once you've got them pretty loose, you can do that and you just blow on it, it moves a pin up and down to lock the strings in place. Not a bad idea. Not my favourite tuners though, there are better ones. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do next. Get the neck done, work on some frets, set the tremolo so it's floating, because it needs to be a little bit high. It needs to be actually floating anyway to get the right feel and play out of there. A little bit more work again. Scratch plates off, check the electrics, try and sort these pickups out, and get some strings back on, get it set up. So, for ease of work, I'll remove a neck. It just means I can work on that easier a little bit later, and we're going to have a look inside here and see what's causing the problem with these pickups, because they are sat really, really bad. And the pick guard is not going to come right off because of the electrics and the earth and ground wires and the input wire. So we're not going to get a lot of movement in it. I could just snip them off. That's the wrong one. I could just snip them off and resolder them later, but hopefully I won't have to do that. I just want to show, this is by the way, I thought it was a 2007 model, but I wasn't 100%, but I've just, in the neck pocket there, you will see 2007 date stamp in there. So it's a 2007 model, as I suspected. Seems to be a black screw there, strange. Alright, let's get them out. Because there's no reason why these pickups should not be sitting perfectly straight. And we may also get an idea as to what pickups are in there. I'm not familiar with Seymour Duncan Strat sets, so for a vintage style, because it's staggered. Don't like scratch plate at all, it's very linear, it's not even beveled at the edges, it's just straight up. Looks a little bit cheap if you don't mind me saying so. But anyway, let's see where we are. Tighten up this strap pin while we're there, and this one while we're here. Something I always do anyway, I always check on guitars. There you go, give them another quarter turn each. So let's see where we are. Okay, right, yes, they are a later edition, these pickups, you can tell because of the wiring inside. Why don't they sit straight? I know why they don't sit straight. The bolts are too long and they're sticking in the bottom of the guitar. I think I should possibly cut them bolts. Let's have a look at the, okay, just cheap 250k pots in there, no brand naming on there, just an M250k. They're definitely not CTS, probably Mighty Mites or something in there. A regular 5-way Fender 5-way, proper one. So let's have a look again at this wiring in here. See if we can get everything in, and what I will do is I will try and set the pickups level. Right, the reason these pickups aren't sitting level is the bolts are too long. I'm going to snip the ends off the bolts. I'm not going to ask the owner's permission because I don't need to. So let's have a look in there. I'm going to turn it over and hopefully I can do it with these snippers. If not, I will get some bolt croppers on there. Can't do it with that. Okay. Don't ask me why I have bolt croppers. I don't even know how I got hold of them. I think it's from a house we lived at a couple of years ago, and these were there, and I just, on my left, I brought them with me. You're going to need to remove a lot. That's done it. There you go. And we're just going to snip the ends off these bolts, like so. And now the pickups will be set straight. Just nipping the end off there. Again. And this last one's going to be a bit tricky to get into because the wiring is right in the way. I don't want to cut a wire. This may seem a little bit barbaric from where you are. Trust me, it's not the first time I've done this and it probably won't be the last. And there you go, and I guarantee now that these pickups will sit straight because the bolts aren't too long. And there you go, pickups are now sat straight, that's perfect, brilliant. So, I'm going to get all that screwed back on and we'll come back and we will go and work on the neck. So here I'm just running off a few frets. I've levelled the fret that needed the work, 12 fret there, and I'm just going across at the moment with a profiling file just to reprofile a few of these frets because we've got a flat spot around this area, and I just want to get that crown back in there. Which I'm using the right side. I'm using the 3mm side. We're not removing any material from the top of the frets, we're just bringing in the sides just to rebuild that crown slightly. And I'll show you how that's going in a second. We don't need any guards on the frets because this is not deep enough to hit the wood, so obviously when I've done these I'm going to need a little bit more polishing than normal. And I think we're just about there with those. I'm going to check the level again in a minute. So we're doing about 6 or 7 frets. We're not done yet. We're going to go across with the diamond file in a minute. But you'll see, remove material from these few frets just to give them that nice crown again. We'll blow the crap away. We'll wipe the crap away. And they are looking pretty good. Still got this. I've got this one to do here as well. Right side, yeah. So nothing that warranted a complete fret level because the frets were quite level. But recrowning, a little bit of recrowning. I'm going to put this underneath again. And I'm just going to recrown with a diamond file. But again, I'm better off with let's go this route. Old rack or an old tea towel there. And now you see I can use the diamond file. And I do have something to wipe it with. We'll wipe and clean and wipe with every fret using a diamond file. This is going to basically cut them really fine, give them a nice crown. You won't think anything's been removed, but trust me, it is. It'll be the finest filings coming off here, but it'll leave the fret nice and smooth. And once we've done one, we wipe the file. See there? That is just one wipe of the file. can. Look at that. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of these done, and that's why we wipe the file every time, because we don't want any of that crap going back on and putting grooves or more grooves in the frets. I'm going to crack on, get these done. Once this is done, I will get a fret guard from out of a drawer, and I will go along and we'll polish all of the frets. Fret guard like so. You don't need to see all that, just take my word for it, I'm going to be doing it. But once that's done, I can get my neck back on the guitar and start getting the guitar back together. So, back soon. So I'm doing something I don't do often. I'm actually going to trim off the ends of these screws on the pickups, because the screws are too long for the pickup cavity. It's a reason the pickups were not sitting straight, they were sitting toward the side. So it's just a matter of a Dremel with a cutter on there. And all I'm going to do is just trim off the ends of these screws. And that's really all it is. And that's flown off somewhere, I don't know where it's gone to, it's probably landed on me somewhere, they normally do. But that means we can have these pickups at any angle we want. I might need to take a little bit more off this one. Didn't want to go too much because it's a bit close to the pot, but I think we'll be okay. And that is it, and I will take a little grabber, a little pincer, and we'll discard that, get rid of it. We're going to do the same for all of them. We'll just tidy this up a little. When they get hot, I'm going to pull the cutter away, let them cool down, and then we'll finish them off. Nearly slipped with that one. And there you go. We have a little bit of smoke coming from somewhere, do we? No, we don't. That's good. So we can brush all this off now, clean everything up, get this back in the guitar, and everything's good. We'll take a brush. And there we go, and I now guarantee that those pickups will be absolutely fine in those holes. We're going to blow out all the crap. And there you go. feed the pickup wires around, make sure they go in the slots correctly where they need to be. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good down there. And that's it, we're in. And now the pickups can move. That's brilliant, they move left and right. Fantastic. Give it a clean, get it all back together, get the neck on, get some strings on, and we are laughing. So, a little bit more work than I expected, but this guitar is finished. You'll notice it has black strings. Why does it have black strings? Well, slightly interesting story. The guy who bought his guitar, he bought me two other guitars, and he bought 3 guitars, and he left me 3 sets of strings, and one was black. And they are Nexus Rotor Sound coated black strings, so I thought they'd look pretty nice on this. I'm not wrong, they look great. So they've gone on there, coated strings, 1046s. The guitar looks fantastic. It's all in tune now. Beautiful. We have the tremolo floating as it should be. See a little gap under there. We can't have it flat to the base of the guitar because we don't have enough adjustment on the saddles, so we have to have it floating. So a bit of tremolo use there. I also removed a spring from the back because it had 5 springs in and the claw was tightened right up. It was too tight to get the tremolo floating, so I had to slacken it off just a little bit, remove a spring. It now has 4 springs in there. So what has this guitar had done? Well, it's had everything done. It's had some fretwork, it's had a complete setup. Every nut and bolt possible on this has been loosened and tightened again to make sure it all fits and all works right, including strap pins. I've had the electrics out, I've reset these pickups, I've had to cut the bolts behind the pickups because they were all skew width like that, and now they are at least level and we can move them, which is brilliant. I'm going to have to alter the heights on just a couple of those. I've not done that yet, I've just realised I've not done that, but for all intents and purposes this guitar is finished. It plays beautiful, there's no buzz anywhere up and down the neck. I've also reinforced this screw here which was falling out, so we've put some dowel in there, glued some dowel in, made a new hole, drilled a new hole in there. Like I say, I've levelled all of the pickups, cut the bolts at the back, I've ground them with a Dremel cutter, so I've got those all nice and flat. So it's a little bit more work than I quoted for, but that's okay. I'm going to keep it as is. I'm not going to charge any extra for that work. So this is one done again. Next one done. So I'm Victor Christian, I'm your fret friend. Just before I go, I want to remind you about my website. I do have my own website up and running at fretfriend.co.uk now. Still a bit of a work in progress, needs a bit more work on it, but you can get an idea of how it's going to look when it's finished. But if you want to find out anything out about me, any details, whatever, what I do, prices, videos, whatever, best place to go is facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. So I'm Victor Christian, your fret friend, signing off. Until next time, boys and girls, as always, God bless you, be good to each other, and I will see you soon.